Rachel from Patreon says, "Hey, I love tomato-based meals, but too many tomatoes give me GI issues and eczema. Why do some people have trouble with nightshades? And is the format of nightshades likely to affect tolerance? If one can't tolerate tomatoes, what could they eat instead to get the nutrients they'd otherwise miss out on?" Thanks.
That is a fantastic question, and I don't have a very good answer for you, Rachel. So, there's some indication in the scientific literature that different people have different levels of sensitivity to the glycoalkaloids in nightshade vegetables. So, glycoalkaloids are a class of phytonutrients that, in small quantities, so eating tomatoes regularly, are anti inflammatory and can reduce risk of cardiovascular disease, of cancer. They're generally beneficial in moderate amounts, but that into high levels can cause something called glycoalkaloid toxicity or glycoalkaloid poisoning. That's why green potatoes can make you feel very sick. And so they have like ranges of how much glycoalkaloids per human body size we expect to start seeing toxicity. And actually, too high of a dose can be lethal. It's why deadly nightshade, belladonna, it's the glycoalkaloids that are also responsible for those plants being toxic. So we have a good sense of how much is too much on average. And what we don't have a good sense of from the scientific literature is there a gene that might make some people more sensitive and other people not? Is there health conditions that seem to go along with a higher level of sensitivity, meaning a lower dose of these glycoalkaloids can cause GI symptoms, generalized inflammation, joint pain, skin rashes, dermatitis, things like that? We don't really know. Does seem to be a buildup of anecdotal evidence, but anecdotal evidence is not scientific evidence. It's just the indication that scientific exploration is required. So, if too much tomatoes does cause an issue, definitely other nightshade vegetables can have lower levels of glycoalkaloids. So, sweet peppers, for example, have lower levels than tomatoes or potatoes. So, maybe you'll tolerate sweet peppers when you don't tolerate tomatoes, or maybe more sweet peppers than tomatoes. And then nutritionally, there's nothing super special about nightshade vegetables. Tomatoes are the number one source of lycopene in the average American diet. Our next best source is watermelon, but you can get lycopene and the other carotenoids that nightshade vegetables have in just about any brightly pigmented vegetable, especially red and orange vegetables. In terms of the really cool polyphenols that tomatoes have, the closest food is citrus fruit. So adding like watermelon and oranges in place of those tomatoes will get you all of the things that tomato could have had if too many tomatoes causes issues.